Hey, it's Lay. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is like the first video I've ever made. Today we're going to talk about fading out hair dye quickly. So this is after I had already washed my hair twice with anti-dandruff shampoo, and this is what we started with earlier. A very bright red, and then here's just a picture of what it looked like directly after I washed it and tried it. But here's where the real fading comes in to get those leftover bits that don't just come out with shampoo. It's called the vitamin C method. We're going to take some vitamin C pills and we're going to use our little bottle blender type of thing. It's like a knockoff bullet blender from Walmart. It has like a coffee grinder blade on it. So it's really handy for when you need to crush up some pills. Anyway, the stuff is very, very powdery. So I used about 10, like I said. And I'm just going to add some anti-dandruff shampoo. You can really use clarifying shampoo. I've seen people use dish soap. Like, whatever you have that's really harsh on your hair, use it, because it will work in conjunction with this stuff really, really, really well. The vitamin C will basically just help to open up your hair cuticles, and it will let the color just kind of run out. So this stuff is really good for any like stuck on pigments that you just can't seem to get to fade. It also works very quickly. So I just want to mix like a little bit more than a 1-to-1 ratio. I do a little bit more shampoo than I do powder, just so it's not super thick and chunky. We want it to be able to spread out through our hair pretty easily. And what you're going to do is you're going to want to slightly dampen your hair. You don't want it to be like sopping wet, because then it's just not going to be as potent. It's going to be like, you know, you diluted it essentially. So you're just going to want it to be dampened, and then just enough so that way you can really work it through and get a nice suds. Make sure it just really penetrates the hair and gets all over everywhere. So just thoroughly rub it in. The more friction, the better. It also generates some heat to help with the process. Also, this stuff is like the most gentle on my hair. This is why I'm doing it instead of bleach. So once you have it all fully saturated, you're going to want to spread your hair close to your head. So that way your scalp heat can kind of go all over your hair, not just your roots. Then you're going to want to take a fancy Target bag, Target, and just stick it on your head. Just sticking bags on our heads over here. Obviously very high class. So I just tie it like that, and I normally will I'll put a beanie over it. I had to run to the bank right after this, so I did that. Whatever. So I left it in for about an hour at this point, and I will take it off and show you what it looks like. So right away you can tell it's a good bit lighter than when we started. It didn't really touch my roots because my roots are actually a high lift red. So that's a permanent. My ends were all semi-permanent color. So that's gonna come out. The permanent isn't really gonna come out. You can see some like red remnants on the bag to show you that color is actually coming out. So that's all good signs. I'm just going to give it one last run through to make sure it's really lathered up in there. So I'm just going to show you a close-up of how it looks. Fully saturated. I mean, it already looks like it's a good bit lighter, so that's a good sign. And I just want to take a minute to talk about apple cider vinegar. I always do an apple cider vinegar rinse every time I do one of these processes, because this stuff, it gets your hair super squeaky clean, and it does dry your hair out. I've never noticed it to be damaging. It's just pretty drying. So what I do is I mix about 2 cups of purified water and 1/4 to 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar, organic apple cider vinegar. What this does is it brings your hair back closest to its like natural pH balance, so that'll eliminate any frizz you're having. I dunk my hair in it for about 5 minutes, and I let it dry with it in it instead of conditioner. So here's what my hair looks like after all is said and done, and it looks a good bit brighter, and I'm really happy with it. It's like a silvery pink, like a really light pastel silvery pink. Of course my red roots are still there, but what are you gonna do? So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video, and please subscribe. Goodbye.